season of South River basketball over TV 35. The second game of the year for South River. We didn't cover the Piscataway-Votech game due to the inclement weather, but the Rams did play that contest. I'm sure they wish they did, and they were beaten rather handily by the Piscataway-Votech with the Gregory brothers at 6-7. The final 54-32, and not a good opener for Keith Hudak.
Oh, it sure is. And, you know, it's a rebuilding year. It's a new coach, new players. South River's a small team. They have to play an aggressive style of basketball, and when you go up against two 6'7" players, it's hard. I mean, as aggressive as he gets, that size is murder.
Piscataway-Votech, a tough team to open up, and really a new era at South River. Lou Guadagnino, now down at Princeton University, assistant to Pete Carrillo. Keith Hudak, a 1979 graduate of South River High School, along with Chris Parlow, who also graduated in 1979. So the Rams have a very young team and a very young coaching staff.
Yeah, the only thing with Keith, we saw him last year, the freshman coach, he's got that South River temper going, and that new rule, Craig, about coaches not being able to stand up during a game. In the Piscataway game, you already got a technical. That hurts the team. You have to try to control yourself. I'm not too sure I like that new rule, but you have to live by it.
It could be a big adjustment for all the coaches throughout the state, having to abide by that rule. Even the players are not allowed to stand up, only to applaud a good play. So that's a big adjustment. Starting five for South River will be number 10, Andy Silvanovich, number 21, Sid Crawford, number 5, Rodney Harris, number 22, Bruce Palumba, and number 14, Michael Lepore. For South Brunswick, wearing the black trim with gold, number 25, Rick Hosdovic, number 45, Greg Davies, number 21, Rube Johnson, 22, Dave Trent, and number 33, Tom Martin. First ball game of the year for South Brunswick. Their contest against Carteret was canceled due to some problems at Carteret High School. We'll get into that later. Rams last year were 12-10, but did make it to the finals of Central Jersey Group 1, losing to the Zebras of New Brunswick. They've won Central Jersey the last 3 years in a row. See no reason why they shouldn't repeat again this year.
No reason why. They're well stacked. They picked up some players from St. Peter's team. I think Carteret and New Brunswick are the teams in the county, there's no doubt.
Rams going left to right here in the first half. Rams hoping to get in the win column off the tough loss. Piscataway-Votech. Mentioned the big front line of the Raiders of Piscataway-Votech, Ron and Ray Gregory. They figured to challenge Carteret for the Central Jersey Group 2 crown this year. Tom Martin goes cross court to Dave Trent. We're a minute in here at South Brunswick High School. No score. Rams and Vikings. They played each other once last year at Fitzpatrick. Rams coming away with an easy 59-37 victory. Shot no good. Battle for the rebound. And they say Palumba on the baseline. So Silvanovich checked that. It'll be Viking ball. 6-foot sophomore Tom Martin to trigger in. Johnson at the free throw line dishes off. Martin. So the Vikings get on the board first, 2-0. Backcourt pressure stolen by Trent. Spinning in the lane. Here's Johnson. Reverse won't go, and Harris controls the rebound. Quickly in the forecourt. Rodney, 1-on-3, holds up. Wide open. Tom Martin in full court. Pulls up. Followed by one of the co-captains, Rick Hosdovic. 4-0 Vikings. And referee didn't see who knocked it out of bounds. The officials are Joe Ballai and Angelo Yatoro. It'll be Viking ball. Rams off to a shaky start passing.
A lot of turnovers early. They got to get that ball and settle down and get into their frame of play. You know, it was interesting last year when Al Balcom was at South Brunswick, they played a deliberate style. I'll be curious to see if there's a change under the new coach.
Rupert Johnson. First two for the seniors. Vikings on top, 6-0. Keith Hudak wants a timeout. Let's take a break. You're watching South River TV 35. Take a look at Michael Lepore, the senior, set to trigger in. Again, backcourt pressure from South Brunswick. And one thing could be a big confusing. They have a shuffleboard court, and it's really close to the baseline, so the players have to adjust here in the new facility.
They should have seen that in their practice before. Turnovers, they got to settle down.
It's Hodzovic, the senior, one of the co-captains, along with Trent. 8-0 Vikings. Rams only have 2 starters back from last year, in Sid Crawford and Roddy Harris. Oria Jennings transferred to Sayreville. Lost Mark Wilborn to graduation, now at Uppsala. Michael Binns graduated. So a new coach really with a new team.
The Rams, on defense, their problem is they're not boxing out onto the boards. I mean, South Brunswick getting low percentage shots.
Sid Crawford inside, won't go. Davies on the rebound. Here's Trent in forecourt. Martin's shot went long. That was Greg Davies, his first 2. 10-0 Vikings. 4:40 to play, quarter number 1. Rams having trouble just getting the ball in front court. Stolen by Hodzovic. Davies had it knocked off him by Harris. Will be Ram ball. One thing we should point out, South Brunswick shouldn't be one of the tougher teams on the Rams' schedule this year.
No, it shouldn't, and they're playing a nice, aggressive man-to-man defense, and the Rams can't cope with it right now.
So Vanovich dishes off. Palumba with a fadeaway. So senior Bruce Palumba, his first 2. Rams finally get on the board. 4:05 to play, first quarter. 10-2 South Brunswick. We get a traveling call on Greg Davies.
Greg, that first basket's always a big one. Maybe now South River will come on track a little bit. Their biggest thing is getting position, getting underneath, and going for a good shot.
Rams had the offensive woes against the Raiders of Piscataway Votech. Michael Poor had 14, but then the other 2 high men were Crawford and Harris with just 4. Silvanovich in the lane, offensive foul. His first.
Craig, that wasn't a smart play. He could have pulled up, taken a jumper, passed off. You know, when you have a smaller team, you're supposed to compensate by ball handling. Rams got some work to do.
Backcourt pressure, South Brunswick moves it ahead. Here's Davies. In and out, Harris on the rebound. Rodney moves it across. Poor had it knocked away. We get a reaching in foul on senior Rupert Johnson, his first on the team. Tom Carpenter, the head man at South Brunswick, his first year, coached last year down at Middletown South. Also had a lot of success coaching in New York City at Xavier High School. You be impressed with the Viking defense, hawking the ball about 35 feet away from the hoop.
They're hungry, Craig. You know, the big thing you were talking about, Harris and Crawford, they have to be the leaders on this team.
Here's Sidney. 10-4, Vikings on top, 3:15 first quarter. Here's Davies to Hodzovic. High man in the game, Rick. Hodzovic, 6 points, 12-4, Viking lead. Under 3 minutes to play, first quarter. Stolen by Rupert Johnson. 1-on-3 goes into lane. Wild shot. Lost out of bounds. Time Rupert Johnson had the lane, but was out of control.
That's a common mistake. The high school players pull up, wait for your team. Don't waste that shot.
Tom Carpenter said in some preseason article, tells his squad a very inexperienced team. Harris had it knocked away, and a traveling call on Greg Davies. The Rams and the Vikings in the new Greater Middlesex Conference, they're playing out of the Blue Division, which also includes New Brunswick, Metuchen, Monroe, Carteret, and North Brunswick. And perhaps as the game progresses, we'll talk a bit about some of the changes. John Smogy no longer at St. Peter's. That one just threw it away. Dave Trent, and batted out of bounds. Rams passing have been really sloppy.
He tried to pass into a man there that was covered by 3 players. He settled down the first quarter, try to work something pattern. Not easy for a coach.
Hazovic dishes off. Here's Trent wide open. First two for Trent. 10-point lead for the Vikings. 14-4. 2:10 remaining first quarter. Here's Rodney Harris. Won't go. Battle. Hazovic has it. And a foul on Bruce Palumba. That's his first.
Craig, the one thing impressing me about South Brunswick is all the players are contributing right now. All 5 players, the starters, have scored. South River's got to get action from all 5 players.
Backcourt pressure by South River. Now we get a traveling call on Greg Davies. Vikings first game, so there's going to be a lot of opening game jitters for them.
They're real fortunate they didn't have to play Carteret in the opener, Craig. That could shell shock any team with a kid like Keith Hughes.
Carteret along with New Brunswick, probably the top 2 teams in Middlesex County. I say New Brunswick has a slight edge over them. Deeper squad.
Definitely, definitely. They picked up a couple players from St. Peter's, made them even stronger.
Minute 35 to play, first quarter. Vikings on top, 14-4. Opening broadcast of the season for TV 35. Michael Lepore. First two for the senior, had 14 the other night. 14-6 Viking. Stolen by Harris. Ahead for Crawford in the lane. His layup is no good. Offensive foul on Sidney. That's his first. Substitution freshman Ian Ivanovich comes on. Time the Vikings just threw it away. Rupert Johnson, nice pressure from Ivanovich. That's a good sign for South River, seeing a freshman in there.
Sure is, Craig. I think what South River is going to have to do is put pressure on the South Brunswick. They're going to have to press them down full court and catch up.
Harris had a notion, slips outside to Ivanovich. 1-2-2 zone by the Vikings. 55 seconds of play, first quarter. 8-point South Brunswick lead. Harris drives baseline. They say he lost it out of bounds. Was looking for the foul for Davies. Didn't get it.
Rodney's had that little open shot on the side a couple of times. He should pop. He should take that shot.
Vikings have some decent sides. Davies 6'3", Hazovic 6'4". It's Greg Davies. 16-6, 10-point edge for the Vikings. As Harris moves it across, half a minute to play. Here's Palumba wide open, short. Sid Crawford in the lane. Sid with 4. That Viking lead down to 8, stolen by South River. And we have a reaching in foul on Rupert Johnson. His second. So just 13 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Substitution number 42, Chris Nidoy. Seniors come on. Replacing Rupert Johnson. Harris to trigger in far side. Rams a hole for the final shot of the quarter. Now 8 seconds remaining. Inside the Crawford, knocked out of bounds by Dave Trent. Just 4 seconds. Lepore will trigger in from his own baseline. Harris forces and hits at the buzzer. So we played one here at South Brunswick. The score after one quarter, Vikings 16, South River 10. We'll be right back. As we take a look at the official Joe Ballai, starting the second quarter for the Rams, Lepore, Harris, Ivanovich, Palumba, and Crawford. New rule this year in high school basketball, possession rule of the jump ball. They alternate, much like the colleges have been doing for the past couple of seasons.
Well, it's going to be a different aspect. Could help South River right here. A basket brings them within 4 points, give them a lot of confidence.
We got a traveling on Ivanovich. Vikings go with Nidoy, Hozovic, Dave Trent, Greg Davies, and Tom Martin to start the second quarter. Vikings up by 6. And we got steps on Nidor, about the 7th or 8th travel already.
Yeah, it sure is. You can tell it's the early part of the season, and the players are really not into it yet.
The Rams have to make a big adjustment. I think with Oria Jennings, they're obviously not in the league with New Brunswick or, say, Carteret, but definitely they give them an imposing front line. They're going to miss Oria. He had some really big game. He was just a junior. He had a lot of promise.
When they get into a game with bigger players, whether people like it or not, they're going to have to play hide and seek. They're going to have to slow the tempo down. They can't run with anybody.
Vikings still in that 1-2-2 zone. Here's Lepore wide open, won't go. Battle for the rebound. Davies controls as Martin pushes it across. The sophomore with the basketball. Takes a return from Nidoy. Nidoy at the baseline, lost it off his foot out of bounds. Substitution for the Rams. Sylvanovich comes on, along with senior number 20, Joe Erico. Again, backcourt pressure by South Brunswick. .6:55 to play, second quarter. Vikings on top, 16-10. They've led right throughout the ball game. So Vanovich, he looks like he had steps once again. Had the shot, but chose to put it on the floor.
Craig, I've been watching Rodney Harris a number of times now. He stopped, faked, and passed off when he had a shot. Last year at the end of the season, Rodney was taking that shot and it was helping the Rams. He's got to take the shot now.
Pass is stolen by Harris. 2-on-1 with Sylvanovich. Goes glass, and he's fouled. That's on, I believe, number 45. We'll check. Unofficially, Greg Davies, number 45, his first. So Andy Sylvanovich will have 2 free throw attempts. Had 4 points the other night in the loss at Piscataway Votac. So one more free throw upcoming for the 6'2 senior. And Vikings lost out of bounds as Davies and Hozovic went for that rebound. Rams get a break, retain possession, down by 5, 16-11. That time the Rams weren't moving. Harris threw it away.
They've gotten a number of breaks in the second quarter. They haven't capitalized on any of them.
Dave Trent, the co-captain, set the toss in. Now we get a whistle for the shot by Davies. No basket. Couldn't tell who that call was on. Unofficially, Sid Crawford. Trent with the basketball. 6:10 to play here in the first half. Vikings by 5. Very deliberate offense here by South Brunswick. Here's Martin, short, and Lepore controls that air ball. Rams with a basket can cut the Viking lead to 3. Don't try to adjust your television set, Jim. Very dark.
Sure is, Craig. It's this lighting. I don't know.
And Harris missed everything, but we get a foul inside on sophomore Tom Martin, his first. Another South River substitution. Bruce Palumba comes on, replacing Sylvanovich. And he leaves with a free throw for one as Harris will trigger in. Rodney wide open from that baseline, in and out. Davies controls the rebound. Rams have been called from the outside. Rams in a 1-2-2 zone. Here's Hosvick, puts it on the floor, had it knocked away as Erico walks it across. They're converging on Sid Crawford. It's going to be tough for the Rams to get the ball into him.
Sure, there's going to be nothing inside.
Bruce Palumbo, 2 field goals, 4 points. Viking lead down to 3, 16-13. Tom Martin in the forecourt, pulls up and pops, won't go, battle for the rebound. And I think they have Rodney Harris going over the back. First on Rodney, substitution Rupert Johnson returns, replacing Chris Nedoy. Rams over the limit, so a 1-1 now for co-captain Rick Hozovic, 6'4" senior. Only returning starter from last year. Has 6 points on the night as Erico controls the rebound. Rams can cut the Viking lead down to 1. Vikings have yet to score here in the second quarter. Here's Erico wide open. He's got it. So Joe gets his first 2. Vikings want a timeout. 4:19 to play first half. South Brunswick 16, South River 15. Stay with us. Craig Scupp along with Art London. Hope you're enjoying the action over your South River Municipal Access Station, TV 35. Our first broadcast of the 1985-86 season. Second ball game of the year for Keith Hudak's Rams. Backcourt pressure. Trent trying to inbound, finally does. Rams have outscored the Vikings 5-0 here in the second quarter. Really some sloppy South River passing has counted for a lot of the Vikings' points.
The Rams had a lot of opportunities. What South Brunswick's trying to do on offense is go weak side on South River. They've got to adjust to that.
Traveling once again on Greg Davies. So the Vikings, under first-year coach Tom Carpenter, have gone cold, taking off the pressure in the backcourt, letting the Rams bring the ball up.
Don't ask me why. That was their best point getter in the first quarter, was the pressure.
Yet they continue to pressure the ball out high. Sid Crawford in the lane, 5-footer, gets the roll. Sid with 6, Rams their first lead of the ball game, 17-16. We get a backcourt foul on Mike Lepore, his first. So a front end of the 1-1 for South Brunswick. That'll send number 33 sophomore Tom Martin. He's got 2 points on the night. Tom Carpenter, the head man of South Brunswick, really high on sophomore Tom Martin. Feels he's going to develop into a real good ball player. Misses the free throw. Crawford on the rebound. Sid takes the pass from Harrison, pops. Back tap, we get a whistle. That was Greg Davies going over the back of Bruce Palumbo, his second personal. Vikings go over the limit with 3:26 to play. So they send Joe Erico to the line. Looked like he went over the Palumbo's back. It'll be senior Joe Erico. Has one more coming. He's got 3 points on the night. Makes good on both. Biggest lead of the ball game for South River, 3 points, 19-16. Backcourt pressure as Hozovic pushes it across. Here's Davies. He's got 6. Finally, with 3:18 to play, they get their first 2 points. Sid Crawford at the baseline, loses control, battle for it. Johnson up ahead to Davies. Wild exchange as Martin scores. The Vikings get the lead, 20-19. Vikings fortune. A traveling could have been called. They were rolling on the floor.
Yeah, with a lucky shot. I don't understand. You know, I was always impressed with Sid Crawford with his ability and all that, but the other players have to help him out when he gets caught in situations like that.
Set play for South River. Palumbo at the baseline. Erico from deep, missed everything. And we get a jump ball. And it'll be South Brunswick ball as they alternate. So 2:37 to play first half. Vikings by 1, 20-19. Johnson moves it across. Takes a return from Davies. Home opener for the Vikings of South Brunswick. Trying to avenge last year's 59-37 loss to Fitzpatrick. Pass batted away, but controlled by the Vikings. Go inside. Davies won't go. Battle for it. Here's Martin, and they say last touch by South River. Vikings getting too many opportunities.
They sure are. The Rams have got to box out again. They're letting the ball go inside. They've got to make them take that jump shot from outside.
Martin to inbounds. 2 minutes remaining first half. Stolen by Erico. One-on-one. Drives to the hoop, and he's fouled on Tom Martin, his second. That'll send Erico once again to the free throw line. Should be shooting, too. And they call it 1-and-1. Substitution, Ian Ivanovich comes on for Rodney Harris. He was in the act that time.
Yeah, Erico showed a little bit of speed going down there. He just had a little trouble controlling the ball and did get fouled. That's what you need. You need a little speed.
Been perfect from the free throw line. 3 for 3. He's got 5 points. We're tied at 20. We get a foul inside on Sid Crawford. Unofficially, his third. Now we go the other way for some free throws. Front end of a 1-and-1 for Greg Davies. First try from the line tonight. He's got 6 points. Now we had a reaching in foul on Hodzovic, his first. Cole free throw shooting for the Vikings, 0 for 3 here in the first half. I think in a close ball game like this, free throw is going to be crucial.
Craig, as we talked so many times last year, that's what high school ball is about, that free throw line. When you have no pressure on you making that shot, that's the important time.
So Bruce Palumbo has got 4 points on the night. First try from the line. South Brunswick controls. 1:48 to play first half. Inside, Hodzovic wide open. Blew an easy one. Gets it back. Here's Davies in the paint. Goes glass. 8 points for the senior Greg Davies. Vikings back on top, 22-20. And Lepore threw it away after some pressure by South Brunswick.
Greg can't give a team 3 shots like South River did on that last offensive series for South Brunswick.
Rams pressing in backcourt. Up ahead to Hodzovic. pulls up. There's Davies. In and out, battle for the rebound. Tom Martin, sophomore with 6, 24-20 Vikings. Inovani's with the basketball. 50 seconds remaining first half. Palumba from the baseline. 6 points from the senior, 24-22 South Brunswick. 40 seconds to play, traveling on Tom Martin.
Craig, I noticed another thing again, prevalent in a lot of high school ball. They're batting that rebound around instead of grabbing the ball, and it's costing South River down on the South Brunswick side.
Bonovich double team has it, knocked it away, and he gets it back and loses it out of bounds. Half a minute to play. See the Vikings hold for the final shot of the first half. South Brunswick with a 2-point edge, 24-22. Just 8 points, though, here in the second quarter. 20 seconds remaining. Tom Carpenter's ball club holding for 1. Rams staying in that zone defense. 10 seconds remaining. Martin forces and hits. 5 seconds to play. 2 seconds to heave by Lepore. So we'll be back with third quarter action. The score at halftime. South Brunswick 26, South River 22. We'll be right back. Craig Scup along with Art London set for third quarter action. Lepore to triggering, leading scorer for the Rams. Savanovic has 1, Sid Crawford with 6, Bruce Palumba with 6, and Joe Errico with 5 for South Brunswick. Greg Davies has 8. Rick Hartwig 6. Tom Martin has 8. Rams going with Sid Crawford, who traveled, Bruce Palumba, Rod Harris, Andy Silvanovich, and Bruce Palumba to start the second half. For South Brunswick, it'll be Rick Hozovic, Greg Davies, Rupert Johnson, Dave Trent, and Tom Martin, the same 5 that started the ball game. Rams outscored South Brunswick 12-10 in the second quarter. We're a half minute in here. Quarter number 3, 4-point Viking edge. Vikings trying to go inside. And that time Silvanovich lost it out of bounds. Rams got to capitalize on that kind of a turnover.
You steal the ball, you got to hold on to it. A lot, again, it's a young season. It'll take them time.
It's Tom Martin from the baseline. Jumper won't go. Battle for the rebound. Silvanovich controls. We're a minute in, third quarter. Vikings lead 26-22. Vikings in a 1-2-2 zone. Silvanovich had a notion back outside to Harris. Running one-hander, no good. Controlled by Johnson. Up ahead to Martin, no good, but a foul on Rodney Harris. Rams just can't seem to decide they have the shot and decide to dish off.
Yeah, they're trying to go low post to Sydney. To accomplish going low post, they've got to hit some outside shots and draw South Brunswick away. Otherwise, they're just collapsing on Sydney, and Sydney's not, a 6'7" center.
Tom Martin 0 for 1 from the free throw line, shooting 2. Sophomore has 7 points on the night. Takes 1 of 2. Here's Davies on the follow, won't go. Crawford finally controls the rebound. Got to be impressed with 6'3" Greg Davies. Really hitting the board.
He knows where that basket is. He's really promising.
Rams trailing by 5, 27-22. 6:15 to play, third quarter. Vikings have led by as many as 10. The biggest South River lead has been 3. Michael Lepore lets fly. 4 points from the senior, had 14 the other night. That lead down to 3, 27-24. They're traveling on Hosvik. You see South River is going to have to be a deliberate offense. Really can't run, have a lot of passing and ball handling problems.
They do well when they get the ball past the half court, but you know, on a press, their big men do not handle the ball as well.
Jovanovic with a basketball. Very deliberate offense here by South River. Try to go inside to Crawford. Batted out to Harris. Harris in the lane. Rejected by Heisevic. Rams get it back. Scramble for the ball. Here's Lepore wide open. So Michael Lepore got the hot hand here in the second half. He's got 6. Viking lead down to 1, 27-26. 4:55 to play third quarter. Here's Martin going glass. Battle for the rebound. Sid Crawford with it. Rams can take the lead with a basket.
Greg, mark my words, this is going to be an outside shooting game. Whoever can hit those outside jumpers are going to win the game.
Inside to Sid Crawford. Jump ball. It should be South River ball. Now they say South Brunswick. Rupert Johnson off the drive. Offensive foul. Check that, a blocking foul on Bruce Palumba. Count the basket and a foul. Second personal on Palumba. 4 points now for Johnson. He's got a shot at the three-point play up. Could be a big play in the ball game.
Questionable call, whether or not it was before the shot or not.
Makes the three-point play. Lead back to 4 for South Brunswick. 30-26. 4.5 remaining third quarter. Craig Scuff along with Art London. Hope you're enjoying the action over TV 35. Palumba from the baseline. Won't go. Johnson on the rebound pass. Knocked out of bounds by Rodney Harris. Usual court, Art. The crowd very far away from the sideline.
They're not into the game too much either. It's a quiet game. I think there's an advantage to having the crowd back a little bit. You don't have any interference or anything.
Especially for a visiting team, it kind of takes a bit of the home court edge away. Davies puts on the floor. There's Martin. Time wide open. Got 11 for the sophomore. 32-26 Vikings. 3:35 to play, third quarter. Got a reaching in foul on Martin. His third. Substitution for the Vikings. Chris Nidoy has come on, placing sophomore Tom Martin. Rams down by 6, 32-26. Lepore wide open, won't go. Foul on Andy Silvanovich, his third. Backcourt pressure by South River as Johnson moves it across. Rams can't afford here in the third to let the Vikings get too far in front.
No, the game is a game of spurts, this particular game. And right now, South Brunswick's on a good spurt, and South River better stop it or it's going to be too late.
Wide open. Greg Davies, nice pass from Dave Trent. Davies with 10, Ram timeout. Let's take a break. 2:52 to play, third quarter. Vikings on top, 34-26. Anthony Harris will trigger in near sideline. Joe Errico has come on for South River. Vikings double teaming the ball. Lepore threw it away. Got to be impressed with the South Brunswick defense.
They're really swarming all over South River, and they're double and triple teaming the ball right now.
34-26, Vikings on top. 2.5 to play, third quarter. Nedoy almost lost it, gets it back. Vikings in no hurry, have the 8-point edge. Try to go inside to Davies, and Rupert Johnson threw it away. Rams have been outscored 8-4 here in the third quarter. They get a foul out high on Rick Hozovic, his second. And the Vikings really pressure the ball handler as soon as he crosses midcourt.
They do. For a team only into their first game, it's impressive. South River's got to move faster. They got to pass faster.
Cross-court pass to Harris. Minute 40 to play, third quarter. Rams trailing 34-26. Harris from deep, missed everything. Errico on the turnaround. Like Hozovic got a piece. Crawford inside. So Sidney with 8. 34-28 Vikings. Minute 20 to play, third quarter. Craig Scup along with Art London. Hozovic couldn't get that pass, bat out of bounds by Sid Crawford. I think the girls got off to a good start. They're 2-0. Blowout over Piscataway Votech, something like a 70-point victory or an 80-point victory.
They're impressive. Maybe we can suit some of them up for the boys' team.
Hozovic had a stolen. Harris ahead of the field. Lepore drives to the hoop and hits. Got lead down to 4. 34-30, a minute to play. Lepore with 8. Nedoy trying to go inside, stolen by Crawford. Once again ahead to Lepore. Head fake. Banks at home. Lepore in double figures with 10. That Viking lead down to 2. Good spurt by the Rams. 34-32. 35 seconds to play. Third quarter.
It's a game of spurts right now. It's South River's time. I'm impressed with Mike Lepore. He really is a gutsy kid.
Trent had a notion to shoot. 20 seconds remaining. Off the hands of Chris Nedoy and out of bounds. Substitution. Tom Martin returns, replacing Nedoy. They're pretty much gone with just 6 players. Only Chris Nedoy seeing action off the bench. The Rams hold for the final shot of the quarter. 15 seconds. Can tie the ball game off of the hoop. Harris with 8 seconds remaining. Rams will have to hurry. Lepore from deep. And off the Rams with 1 second to play. Rick Hozovic will inbound. With some pressure from Joe Errico. Long heave. So that'll do it. We'll be back with the fourth and final quarter in just a moment. The score after 3, Vikings 34, Rams 32. Stay with us. As you take a look at Keith Hudak and the South River Ram bench, Rams outscore the Vikings 10-8. Quick check of the scores. Sid Crawford has 8. Andy Silvanovich has 1. Rodney Harris 2. Bruce Palumba 6. Mike Lepore 10. And Joe Errico with 5. For South Brunswick, Rick Hozovic pretty much held in check with 6. Davies with 10. Rupert Johnson 5. Trent 2. Tom Martin has a good ball game with 11. Rams start the 4th with Harris, Lepore, Erico, Silvanovich, and Sid Crawford. Vikings go with Johnson, Trent, Martin, Hozovic, and Davies. Erico inside. Crawford couldn't control. Here's Erico. Battle for the rebound. We get a foul on Rupert Johnson. His 3rd personal. You mentioned the game of spurts. Rams got to come out of the box here in the 4th really strong.
Got to come out smoking and establish the lead.
Lepore, no good, but a foul on Hozovic. Kind of give a coach nightmare, like 25 feet from the basket.
7:45 left. That's their 4th foul. The next one they'll be in 1-and-1. It was a stupid foul.
So Michael Lepore, the quarterback of the football team, had 14 the other night against Piscataway Votech. Around the rim and drops home. He's got 11 on the night. That free throw could be a good sign.
You sure can. It went in. Again, I'm impressed with Mike. He's a tough kid.
We're tied at 34. 7:45 to play, 4th quarter. Vikings have led by as many as 10. The biggest Ram lead was 3. Trent from deep. Battle for the rebound. Sid Crawford.
The Rams are starting to get the boards. Either South Brunswick is tiring or its position, but the Rams are starting to control the board, and it's helping them. That's why the game is tied.
Rams have cut down and giving up the easy hoops. Traveling on Lepore. Rams were looking for a foul. He got the ball away before there was a chance to travel, but Keith Hudak not happy with that call. Sits along the bench there with Chris Parlow. Inside, Davies off the glass, won't go, gets it back, and has it knocked away by Erico. Davies really impressed with him on the board. Misses that shot, goes for the rebound. Lepore doesn't get the roll. Johnson on the rebound. Takes a return from Trent, moves it across. 6:40 to play in the ball game. We're tied at 34. In and out, battle for the rebound. Hozovic. He's got 8. Vikings back on top, 36-34. Erico wide open, missed everything. Here's Trent with a basketball, quickly in the forecourt. Drives to the hoop, no good, but a foul on Harris. Rams fortunate. Could have been a 3-point play.
You can set yourself and try to take the foul, but you got to stand still. Rodney was backing up on that play.
Rams just getting the spurts where the offense really clicks, and then there's times that they just stand around. That shot by Erico just missed everything that time.
Spurts again. The game is being played in spurts.
First free throw try for Dave Trent. In and out. Senior co-captain's got 2 points on the night. Vikings by 2. 6:11 remaining, 4th quarter. The Viking lead now 37-34. Rams almost lost it there. And Rams lucky a reaching in foul on Dave Trent. Rams just couldn't bring the ball up that time. And the Vikings over the limit, front end of a 1-and-1 for South River.
Going back to that foul on that early shot, South River was getting a chance at 1-and-1 where they just would have had the ball out of bounds. At this stage of the game, every point is big.
So Michael Lepore with 13 points. high man in the ball game. They stood on both. That Viking lead down to 1, 37-36. 6 minutes to play in the ball game. Tom Martin almost had it stolen by Harris. Gets it back. Rams looking for a double dribble. Rejected by Silvanovic. Lepore was no foul at time. He was just hacked. Rams still have the possession of the basketball. Take the lead with a basket. Poor wide open at the baseline. Rams can't get the ball to him. Silvanovic, triple team, back out to Harris. And we had a foul over the back on Hazovic. Not to get on the officials are, they've done a good job. That's the fourth. That time Lepore was fouled about 3 times dribbling up court.
He was hacked. The Rams can be patient here. They should wait for a good shot. They got a foul out of it. That's Hodzovic's 4th foul.
You got to get the ball to Michael Lepore. He's had the hot hand. So Sid Crawford, front end of a 1-1. 8 points on the night for the senior. All-county offense. Football made All-State Group 1 in the Star Ledger. A lot of schools interested in him in football. West Virginia, Nebraska. Season progressed. Try to find out from Sid what school he plans to attend. So makes 1 of 2. We're tied at 37. 5 minutes to play in the ball game. Davies at the baseline. Threw it away. Here's Lepore ahead of the field. Lays it home. Rams go back on top, 39-37. At 16 points. Hazovic at the baseline. Back outside. Martin releases. Won't go. Hazovic underneath. And a foul on Sid Crawford. Sid's 3rd. The one thing that's really hurt South River, Hazovic and Greg Davies have been able to establish inside position.
Again, the height where South River is small. I think the big thing hurting South River also is they're not getting production from Rodney Harris. He's got 1 basket. 2 men, Sid Crawford and Mike Lepore, are doing their scoring for him.
So 2 free throws for the co-captain, Rick Hazovic. Got 9 on the night. Free throw can tie up the ball game. 4:36 to play. So backcourt pressure from the Vikings. We're tied at 39. Up ahead to Harris. 2-on-1 with Silvanovic. Off the glass. No good. Down for the rebound. South Brunswick control. Here's Martin. Through the hands of Johnson. That time Andy Silvanovic had the layup.
Blew an easy one. Rams got a big breakdown here with the ball going out of bounds. If he wasn't going to make it, he should have just went out and held up for his teammate.
Finally getting in, Silvanovic pushes it across, holds up. 4:15 to play. We're tied at 39. Both teams over the foul limit, both in the 1-and-1. Rams have to be patient. They call traveling on Michael Lepore. Rams want a timeout. Let's take a break. 3:51 to play. We're tied at 39. Stay with us. As we take a look at senior Dave Trent. Set to inbound the ball at the far sideline. Discussion at the scorer's table. As far as possession goes, next time, if there is a jump ball, the Rams should retain possession.
The board shows South Brunswick. I think someone's missing something.
It looks like this one's going right down to the wire. 3:40 to play. Pass batted around. Stolen by South River. Here's Harris off the glass. Rodney with 4. Rams back on top. 41-39. South River pressuring in backcourt. Vikings finally get it across. A game of spurts. (41-39) Rams. 3:10 to play. Fourth quarter. Here's Trent wide open. He's got 5. So we're tied at 41. 3 minutes to play in the ball game. Crawford goes to the hoop. No foul. Rams get retained possession. .240 to play in the ball game. Rams will try to work for the perfect shot here.
Right, they got to go for a good percentage shot.
Andy Sovanovich, that one through his hand. 2:26 to play in the game. We're tied at 41. Inbounds to Rupert Johnson quickly in the forecourt. Stolen by South River. Erico retains possession. Both teams sloppy.
Good heads-up play by Mike Lepore on there. Mental mistakes on both teams. Even though it's early in the season, those things are just basic fundamentals.
Head fake from Crawford. Doesn't get the roll. Gets his own rebound, though. Erico from deep. No good. Battle for the rebound. South River gets it back. Nice hustle. Erico had a good ball game. Stolen by Johnson. Drives to the hoop, and he's fouled on Rodney Harris. That's his 4th. Stops the clock with 1:49. Folks are saying Tom Carpenter left the bench.
Well, he did, Craig. He went off the seat. If you're going to play by the rules, let's play by the rules.
Got wheels on his seat.
Wheels on his chair.
Had him clocked at 35. So senior Rupert Johnson, who's 1 for 3 from the line, got 5 points. High arcing shot is good. One-point Viking lead. Rupert Johnson, one more coming. Vikings back on top, 43-41, 1:45 to play in the game. Kicked out of bounds by Johnson. Rams got to keep the composure here.
That's it. It's poised right here. Don't get excited. Wait for a good shot. There's plenty of time.
Lepore from deep. He's got it. 18 points for Lepore. We're tied at 43. 1:25 to play in the ball game. Been a good one here from South Brunswick High School. Opening broadcast of the 1985-86 season here on South River TV 35. See what South Brunswick philosophy with 1:05 remaining now. We're tied at 43. Johnson open at the baseline. Playing catch with Dave Trent. 55 seconds. Heisevic back outside. Looks like they're playing for the final shot of the ball game. 45 seconds remaining. Tom Martin goes cross course to Johnson. Now 35 seconds to play. Under a half a minute. Rupert Johnson had a notion to shoot. Here's Heisevic, forces, won't go, battle for the rebound. The Rams have it. Lepore with 15 seconds. Wants a timeout. Let's take a break. 14 seconds to play. We're tied at 43. Stay with us. The South Brunswick Viking bench. That's head coach Tom Carpenter. He's got a wheel. He's got four-wheel drive on.
Four-wheel drive, Craig.
AM/FM stereo. It's come down to this. 14 seconds. Harris to trigger in. Big thing, Rams got to get the ball in bounds. Finally do the Erico. Rams not moving without the ball. 8 seconds. Nearly threw it away. Sylvanovich has it. Erico from the baseline. No good. Harris underneath. And he's fouled at the buzzer. Fouled at the buzzer. Debris being thrown on the court, so Rodney Harris should have 2 free throws at the buzzer. Tom Carpenter left his seat again. Gonna need seatbelts. As we see the two officials, Joe Ballai and Angelo Yatura, conferring at the scores table. A rough break for South River. They say no time. That was a bad call, Art. I don't want to get too much on the officials' case, but there's been a couple of calls tonight that the Rams have been hacked, and they didn't get the call. Keith Hudak is furious. Can't blame him. And that time, I think Angelo Yatura kind of chickened out, Art. Like in hockey, a lot of times the officials don't like to call it with 2 minutes to go. Let the teams play, not be part. And that time he choked.
He blew it. No doubt in my mind. He blew it. They were up in the air. The buzzer hadn't sounded. Big break for South Brunswick.
Because Angelo Yatura just kind of said, hey, South Brunswick or South River is going to decide this game. I'm not. This year is going to be a lot more confusion with this possession rule and coaches on the bench. I don't see why they shouldn't let a coach get off the bench, especially if he's just instructing his team on trying to get a player's attention or applauding a good play. I think the officials, I always felt, they never seem to improve year after year, and they're worried about the heat.
Part of basketball, Craig. You know, Bobby Knight, I mean, Tom Young, all these guys are you know, they're excitable guys.
So if Tom Carpenter throws his chair, it'll roll across the floor. Rams will start the OT session with Joe Erico, Michael Lepore, Rodney Harris, Andy Sylvanovich, and Sid Crawford. South Brunswick will counter with Dave Trent, Greg Davies, Rick Heisevic, Rupert Johnson, Dave Trent, and Tom Martin. 3-minute overtime session. Sylvanovich and Davies to jump. Tap control by South Brunswick. Rams 1-2-2 zone to start the OT session. 2:45 remaining. Think South Brunswick will hold for the full 3 minutes this time?
It looks like it. They're not in a hurry to shoot.
That sometimes comes back to haunt a team. The Rams had that 14 seconds remaining to get a shot off. Won't go. It's Crawford up ahead to Lepore. One-on-one holds up. Smart move by Lepore. Vikings got back in a hurry. It was really a 1-on-3. 2:05 remaining in the overtime session. We're tied at 43. Lepore from deep rims the basket. Hazovic on the rebound. 1:55 to play. Up ahead to Tom Martin. Rupert Johnson, 1:40 to play. Trent almost lost control. Dangerous cross-court pass. They got away with it, and they threw it away. Trying to go inside the Hazovic, and that time Tom Martin, just a sophomore, made it the inexperienced play.
Sure, the pressure, the mistake. 1:26 left in the game. The Rams should go deliberate here, even if they wait for the last shot, if they can do it.
Minute 15 remaining in the overtime session. Lepore inside, off the glass, won't go, bounce the rebound. Last touch by South Brunswick. 1:06 remaining. So what turned it to kind of a sleeper ball game? It's intriguing now.
That's right, it's going to go down to the wire. You don't know what's going to happen next.
Lepore from deep, got it. 20 points for Michael Lepore, high man in the ball game. 55 seconds to play. 45-43 Rams. Cross-court pass. Here's Johnson forces. Won't go. Sid Crawford on the rebound. Pass up ahead, stolen by Tom Martin. Vikings want a timeout. Let's take a break. 35 seconds to play. Rams lead at 45-43.
Hold on to the ball. Well, this is always strange to have people up there.
South River scored 2 points and they haven't scored anything. Matter, what do you think, they'll go for the tie? Okay.
That. That's Dave Trent sent in bounds. 35 seconds.
Craig, the Rams got to watch South Brunswick. Still like that back door or the low post. There it is.
Hazovic inside, reverse, won't go. Silvanovich on the rebound. Looking for an open Ram, gets it to Harris with 20 seconds. Backcourt foul. See if it's an intentional foul on Rupert Johnson, his fourth. Not an intentional foul, front end of a 1-on-1.
Shades of last year, we never saw that called, Craig.
They only made that call when it's like 4 seconds, the game's already decided. Timeout Vikings, let's take a break. Rams lead it by 2, 45-43. So Rodney Harris is a big part in this final portion of the ball game. The junior got 4 points on the night. Hearing it from the crowd. Front end of a 1-on-1. Silvanovich controls the rebound. Sid Crawford back outside to Lepore. Double dribble with 14 seconds. Another South Brunswick timeout. We'll be right back. So South Brunswick gets one more shot at it. 14 seconds off the Michael Lepore double dribble. Rams giving the Vikings every opportunity to get back in the ballgame.
Real exciting opener, Craig. It's going to go down right to the wire again. This is it.
Rupert Johnson with a basketball. 10 seconds. Dave Trent with 8. Stolen by Erico. Fouled with 4 seconds to go by Davies, his second. So Joe Erico, who's 3 for 4 from the line, got 5 points, can sew it up.
Yes, sir. A lot of pressure on the young man, but he's shown that he's a pretty good foul shooter. The first one's the big one.
Joe Erico can wrap the ball game up, front end of a 1-and-1. Misses. They stopped the clock with 3 seconds. How many timeouts in South Brunswick? It seems like they've had about 5. We'll keep it here. Got to be their last timeout.
Well, you get an additional 2, I think, in overtime, and 5 during the game.
So 3 seconds. They're going to have to inbounds from their own end of the court. So
the Rams should come out with pressure on them. If they make it, we're into overtime again. If they miss it, it's the Rams win. I mean, it's a real cliffhanger for the opener, Craig. I hope we get some easy ones.
Guarantee the folks watching TV 35, all these ball games are going to be like this. They're going to be exciting. But South River, they've given them every opportunity to get back in the ball game. It's going to be tough for the Vikings. Got to heave it the length of the court. I'm sure the Rams are going to have one of their big men to make it difficult.
Big men, Craig.
Sid Crawford and Vonovich at 6'2", about as big as they come. Then again, Keith Hudak may keep them back to prevent any kind of like
long lob.
So we'll see what the strategy is. 3 seconds remaining. The Rams will have Andy Silvanovich on the man who's going to inbounds, Rick Hodzovic. 3 seconds to go. Hodzovic to inbounds. Call a foul on Sid Crawford with no time remaining. Keith Hudak hoping for front end of a 1-and-1. I don't know why Angelo Yatoro, at the end of the regulation, he didn't call a foul. At that time, that was right in front of us. Front end of a 1-and-1 for Dave Trent. Check that, Tom Martin. It's all over. The Rams have come away with a victory, 45-43. We'll be back with a wrap-up in just a moment. We're back at South Brunswick High School. This is any indication of the season to come. We should have a great season of high school basketball on TV 35. So in overtime, the final, South River 45, South Brunswick 43. Rams even their record at 1-and-1, and the Vikings, under Tom Carpenter, dropped their opener, fall to 0-1. Let's run down the scoring first for the Vikings. Rick Hodzovic, the co-captain, finished with 10, 4 field goals and 2 free throws. Greg Davies had a good first half, had 5 field goals for 10. Rupert Johnson had 7. Dave Trent, 2 field goals, a free throw for 5. And Tom Martin had 5 field goals, 2 for 4 out of the line. That last one proved crucial, and the sophomore finished with 12. And Chris Nedoy did not score. For South River, Andy Silvanovich had a free throw for 1. Ian Ivanovich did not score. Sid Crawford had 9 on 4 field goals and a free throw. Rodney Harris had 2 field goals for 4. Bruce Palumba had 6 points on 3 field goals. Mike Lepore had a great ball game with 20 points. Joe Erico finished with 5. The Rams outscoring the Vikings 2-0 in overtime. So Keith Hudak, his first win as a varsity coach, and it's a wild ball game. And I think Angelo Yatoro, not to really ride the officials, really kind of bit the old apple at the end, blew the Rodney Harris call, and then he called one on Sid Crawford about 40 feet away from the basket. The Rams lucky to come away with a win.
It was a game of spurts. It was a game of turnovers. I've got to say I'm impressed with Mike Lepore. 20 points. The kids got a lot of guts. They got some production out of Sidney. They got to get more out of Rodney. Ball handling. The defense wasn't bad. Both teams played nice defense. I'm impressed with South Brunswick's sophomore, Tom Martin. Looks like a good prospect. The wild opener, Craig.
Rams play Monday night against their arch rival, the Bulldogs of Metuchen, without Tom Flaherty or Art Flaherty, so no post-game theatrics, hopefully.
I hope so. Should be a heck of a game. The opener at home. hope that people come out and see it and support the team. And these new rules, these penalties, these technicals on coaches for jumping up, this possession, it's wild. It's high school basketball. We hope at its best.
So follow the TV35 listings when we'll air that Metuchen ball game. Thanks to our cameraman, Andy Jasonovich. Had a lot of fun. Should be a great season on TV35 for Art London. I'm Craig Scupp. The final score, Rams 45, the Vikings 43 in overtime. Thanks for watching. Merry Christmas, everybody. So long.